What's going on, guys? This is the first video on my channel. It's a bit of a weird start to start a little late in the Prem, but we want to go over a couple of the games from today. We had a lot of matches today, a lot of top six teams. Chelsea, Liverpool, Spurs play, Aston Villa fighting for that fourth place spot, Newcastle with a big win over Wolves today, a game that I really didn't think they would win. But, we'll get into that, all right? So, first match is Chelsea-Brentford. Chelsea started off the game weird, I could say. Nicholas Jackson, they had their little spill at the back, almost gave up a goal early on, and then they created some pretty decent chances. Gusto flying down that right-hand side. And Nicholas Jackson, open goal, doesn't hit it. Kind of story of his season so far, but they did well to fight back. They started off, they go 1-0 up, and then they give up that stupid goal with Caicedo and Diassi in the back, and you just gotta clear, you just gotta hit that shit out of the park. But they left a chance, and someone that's only scored one goal prior for Brentford in 2 years scores a second goal. I mean, it's just stupidity. It's kind of the story of this Chelsea team this year, and they did well to fight back. They let up an amazing goal by Wissa, that overhead kick, and they did well to fight back. But you go 1-0 up, you shouldn't just two stupid goals, and you really shouldn't let things like that up. I mean, the billion-pound bottle jobs, it's what Gary Neville likes to call them, but I don't really have much more to say. They have those moments where they look good, they have those flashes, and then sometimes they just look so stupid. You have Nicholas Jackson doing these weird step overs and stuff, and he's not even looking up. He has three people on his left wide open to just lay the ball off to. I mean, I know they're out looking for another striker, and he's not going to be the number 9, which makes me kind of question why you brought him in. Palmer seems like a staple on the wing or as the 10, unless you want to play Gallagher as the 10. But I don't know. You brought in Mudryk for around 90 pounds. I don't know what that is in USD, but you have Madueke, who I'm sure people forgot even plays for Chelsea. Chilwell, they played in a 3-back today and had Chilwell be the wide player left. Gusto looked really good, honestly. But I don't know what Jackson's role is in this team, excuse me. But it's definitely not the number 9, especially when when there's hints of Osimhen coming, when there's hints that they want to bring in someone like Ivan Toney. I don't know. Chelsea are in a weird spot. I felt like this game kind of had draw written all over it. But, they really could have got something, but they didn't. And it's kind of their own fault. You kind of shoot yourself in the foot. They came back in the Leeds game in the FA Cup, which is great for them. It's a great win. Keeps them in a cup competition. Keeps their season alive. Because sitting in, 11th currently? Or 10th? 11th. 2 points off Wolves with a game in hand, and I don't know. I don't know what's going on. This Chelsea team really lacks direction, and you really need to find what you want to do with this team. I know Pochettino's probably going to get sacked but it's who you bring in. Can you attract someone like Xabi Alonso when Real Madrid and maybe Barca and even Liverpool are kind of calling for him, and they're definitely, even Barca is a better location than Chelsea, especially with, I know Chelsea's got the funds, but are they going to with FFP? I don't know. That's not for me to judge, but decent game from them. Brentford, they're not on. They're 15th right now. They're a tough team. The record isn't really reflective of them. Personally, I think they're better than a team like Crystal Palace or Bournemouth, even though these teams are doing better than them or are above them in the table right now. But with Thomas Frank and they missed Tony for his first couple months of the season, but yeah, really not a team you should really overlook. But Chelsea, if they really want to get something done, I feel like the prem is kind of over for them unless they want to try and claw back to a seventh place spot, which is looking at it right now. It's game in hand. You say they win the game in hand. That's 3 points off. That's not a crazy amount of points to make up, but do you want to do that? Do you think this team has the will to do that and fight in the FA Cup? I mean, they have the easiest draw arguably against Leicester, so I don't know. It's a lot of questions around this team. You like to say there's potential. I know Chelsea fans like to say that there is potential there. You got Enzo, Caicedo, even though he does get shit on a little bit. I think him and Enzo should be the little double pivot that they want to run. Unless they, I don't know. Unless they want to push Enzo a little bit further up the field, and then I don't know if they holding on to Gallagher. I guess so. He's been the player of the season so far. I would hold on to him, but is he a player you want as your 10 competing for a top 4 spot next season, or even top 6? I don't know. That's for them to judge, not me. I'm not fucking Todd Bowley. Second game, Liverpool, Nottingham Forest. Very back and forth. Both teams defended very well. I say very well, but both of them just really couldn't put the ball on net. Great saves by Kelleher in that one-on-one with Elanga. A couple great saves from Sells, the new goalie at Nottingham Forest, and both teams could have won it. I mean, as the game went on, and even though Liverpool's got the younger academy players like Bradley and Clark playing, and I forget the other one with the Afro 76. You have young players playing there, and you still go out and win it. That's a great win for Jurgen Klopp. You have the experience of Luis Diaz, who was probably the best player in this game next to maybe Virgil van Dijk. Most experienced player next to Van Dijk. But yeah, you don't have Trent, you don't have Alisson, you don't have Mo Salah. Those are big names to be missing, world-class players, and they still get it done. It's scary for Arsenal and City to watch and see that they win in the 99th minute, I guess. It's insane. Great ball by McAllister to win it. Holds up play very well. Puts it right on Nunez's head. He can just flick it in. And there's not really much more to say. Did they play the best in this game? No, they didn't play up to the Liverpool standard that you kind of expect from them, but they don't have their best team. Their midfield has been shaky all season. I know Endo has grown into the season. McAllister's been a class player. Szoboszlai, probably the future 10 of this team. I don't know. I don't really trust it. I know Gravenberch has had his time. I think he's out hurt. I don't think he played in this game. But I don't know. It's scary to see if you're a rival fighting for the title this year, but resilience, that's the one word for this Liverpool team. They got the EFL Cup. They're still in the FA Cup. They're still in Europa League, and they're favorites to win it. Top of the league, probably favorites to win the league. Maybe not betting wise, but they're top of the league. City has to play tomorrow against United, and whether that's going to be whether they can roll over United is another story. I'll get into that, but great win for this Liverpool team. They really did well. They really showed that they can go on and win it. They're going to challenge for these trophies. This season for Klopp he's not just riding away with the Carabao Cup. He wants more. They want more. The players want more. And it's showing. So great win for them. Great performances. Nottingham Forest, really can't beat themselves up that much, but you got to be cutthroat in these games. You have a chance to upset a team like this and take points off a team that you're not expected to get any points home or away. You're not really expected to do anything to this Liverpool team despite the injuries. Jurgen Klopp's arguably the best manager in the world. I mean, I wouldn't say he is, but top 3 staple. But yeah, Great performance by Liverpool. I mean, not a great performance. Great win by Liverpool. Great result. That's all that matters. You see this game, you can look back at it, it's more for the young players to look back at more than someone like Virgil who played a great game. Yeah, great result for them, Keep chugging onto that title, keep fighting, keep going. The injured players will come back. They're saying Klopp was saying that Allison isn't gonna be out for the whole season, but I mean, who really needs him when Kelleher's playing like this? So yeah, great result for them. Bravo to them. Klopp's kids, on to the next. On to the Tottenham game. Tottenham 3, Crystal Palace 1. Tottenham looked the better team throughout the game, but then they give up a stupid free kick to Crystal Palace. Eze, not much Vicario can really do. It stuffs it in that top right corner. He's a baller. It's simple as. You can't give up set pieces to these Crystal Palace teams because they have players like Eze and Olise that they'll work some magic with it. We saw Olise at least last year against Man United. That stunning free kick. But yeah, Tottenham definitely looked like the better team. Got unlucky with the free kick. I mean, it was kind of their own fault, but got lucky. Good win by Brandon Johnson to win the ball on the wing. Got a little lucky with a mishap by Jefferson Lerma, and they get the goal, and they reap the rewards. They make it 1-1, and then they keep that pressure on. They keep playing. They keep wanting to go out and win it. And excellent header by Romero. Good ball in the box, And it's just great play from them. That's a deserved result. And then Son, I mean, do you really expect him to miss a one-on-one like that? I know Timo, he got his goal, missed his chances early on, but Son, that's not him. He's not one of the best finishers in the league. Not a whole lot to say about this game. Tottenham really did play better, I felt like. They had their moments where they kind of messed up a little bit, but it's they got the result they should have had. They went down 1-0, and if that's not a good sign to keep having to go down 1-0 to really get results out of these games, but they get it, and it's on to the next. I don't know who they have next week off the top of my head, but you expect them to continue and challenge for top 4. I mean, segueing into the next game, you got Aston Villa against Luton. Tough game. It's not easy to go to Luton and get a result, but Aston Villa squeak one out. They're another team fighting for top 4, and it's a really exciting race. You have teams like Villa and Spurs fighting. I know Spurs were looking like title contenders at the beginning, which definitely was a bit too early to say, especially with Villa around Christmas. But even Villa, 3 points off Arsenal. Arsenal does have a game in hand, and you expect them to beat Sheffield. Spurs 5 points off Aston Villa, but you never know. Spurs aren't in any Europe. They're not in the FA Cup, so they're really fighting for that. Top 4 is really their goal this season. So Aston Villa still has Europa Conference. I know Unai Emery loves to go for those kind of cup competitions, those kind of European cups, like he did at Villarreal, and Man United's 11 points off. They're not really. It's really a 2-horse race for 4th, and you expect Villa to stay there because they're that team, but they could fall off, and Tottenham been playing very well all season, so both those teams did well to get the results. And yeah, not easy games. There's no real easy games in the Prem unless you're playing Sheffield. But yeah, it's kind of what you expect out of these teams. And if you really want to be great, you want to fight for these top 4 spots, you got to show that. Neither of them, unless Arsenal or City completely fall off, you don't really expect Villa finishing higher than 4th. But it's a great race, It's a very competitive league. Definitely more competitive than last year when it was just City and Arsenal, and that Arsenal team really didn't have the wheels to keep going, especially at the end. They just kind of fell apart. No one else was really in and around them. I know Liverpool had a kind of a setback season, but they came back and they're showing their class. I already talked enough about them, so good result for Tottenham, good result for Aston Villa. And really just on to the next. Those were the only games I really wanted to cover. Newcastle, Wolves. I think Newcastle, they score early. They get it. They get it done. It shows a little bit of their class from last season, but you expect a little bit more out of Wolves. 3-0. It's not. Same with the Fulham game. It doesn't really. I think Brighton played a little bit better than that. Fulham just kind of took their chances better, but 2 big wins. West Ham, Everton. Didn't really watch it. Don't really care to watch it. I know I saw West Ham. They got those 2 last-minute goals. Could have split the points. I know Everton had, 22 shots? You can't put one away. A missed penalty from Beto, and you got to do better from that. 2.73 XG, 22 shots, 11 shots on target to West Ham's 12 shots with 5 on target. And 3-1 kind of seems like it should have went the other way, but it's about taking those chances, and it's about finishing more than having the chances. You can shoot it as many times as you want. Doesn't mean it's going to go in. So that's all from the teams today. Now I'd like to kind of talk about the previews for tomorrow. We got the biggest game, Burnley versus Bournemouth. Everyone's excited for that. But no, actually the Manchester Derby at the Etihad. Who knows where this game goes? City they're on good form in the sense that of win-loss. They've lost one of their last 10 or something stupid like that, or big win against Luton in the FA Cup. You expect them to go out there and wallop United, but you don't know. United looked like crap against Forest, even though they won it late. Looked like crap against Fulham, who just turned them over, but you never know. It's a derby. Form kind of goes out the window, So if I'm gonna say the keys for United to win, they just got to defend. They got to play like it's Luton Town against fucking City. You have to go out there and you have to defend and you have to lock up. You're not gonna outscore the City team because United let up 20 odd shots a game, and they don't have Højlund. Rashford's not on the best form. Garnacho's not on the best form. Antony is. I don't even know if he has form. He's just him. He's just a fidget spinner. So it's cool. City realistically should go out and roll them over. But will they? It's a derby game. You never know. And then they have Liverpool next week, and this is really going to define City's season. If they can go out and get 2 big results, then they're the best team in the world. But if they don't, then it's a lose-lose for them. They shouldn't drop points against this United team. They're at home. United are on not so good form. Have injuries, definitely more injuries than them. So do you go out and take it, or is it just not? It's not to say that the City team isn't great if they don't go out and take it. I feel like it's kind of a down year for them. I feel like they don't have that same. Maybe they do. Maybe I'm just overlooking it a little bit, but they don't. They're still in the Champions League, still in the FA Cup, but still in the title race very closely. But it's do they do it this year? Because you get unlucky sometimes. It's not always their fault. It doesn't take anything away from their greatness if they go out and draw. If they lose, I say that's a completely different story, but they have to win. It's a must-win game. Doesn't matter what doesn't matter anything, any excuses you want to make for City. You have to go out and beat a team like this. You have to shut them up. You have to score early. And, they probably will, but you never know. You can't expect anything from these games, You can't expect Haaland to go pop up with a goal, but he could just pop up with a hat trick. And it's not out of the realm of possibility. It's almost expected, but to an extent, it's not. It's a huge rival game. This isn't City versus Sheffield or Luton Town or even a team like Forest. It's not one of those games. You have to go out and win. You have to show that you're title contenders, that you're defending 3-time champions. And will they do it? I think they probably will. But wouldn't be surprised if there's a tie. Don't see a world where United get a win here. If they do, I'd love it personally. But you never know. So I think that's going to be it for my talks today. I'll talk a little bit more tomorrow on the City versus United game. Give a little preview for Arsenal Sheffield, but I don't, how much preview can you really do in that game? Arsenal's, 25 or 29 goals in their last 6? I don't know. I should know this stuff, but you expect them to go out and turn them over. It doesn't really matter if you're away from the Emirates. You got to win the game like Sheffield, so that's my preview, I guess you could say. But if I'm going to do a score prediction for Manchester Derby tomorrow, 4-1 City. That'll be my little prediction, but don't be surprised if there's an upset in there. Don't be surprised if United come out and City just aren't finishing their chances, like the game against Bournemouth where they only won 1-0. It's not out of the realm of possibility. You got to be weary of these type of things, but yep, that's going to be it from me, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. See you.